Phoenix Down Radio is on the air. With your hosts,
Klaus Nightbringer,
Seyrr Kimono,
Chille,
and Luna Vox.
Welcome everybody to Phoenix Down Radio, episode number 61. How's it going?
It's going pretty damn well.
It is.
Not too bad.
That's good to hear.
I taught so many kids about non-Newtonian fluids today.
I taught my kids to say I want $1 million.
Well, I think we all want $1 million, don't we?
No,
No.
I want $1 billion. Get it right, Klaus.
Well, hey, $1 million is a good start, though.
No, it isn't. Can't I even buy a senator with that these days?
I don't want a senator.
No one wants a senator.
Exactly.
That is your first mistake.
They're
sounds
corrupt
like you doesn't
and
want senators.
old, and they don't taste very good.
That's not what all the sex scandals say. And now that I've got that image in your head,
Because you're a bad person. So, to start off the show, I want to thank all of our returning Twitch subscribers, Nick Nar, Kane, and Chille. And again, thank you, Chille, for gifting a sub to PSU Live. Gee, I wonder who that is.
Who could that ever be?
And a huge thank you to our friend Aurori Friendrier for your support out on Patreon. She supports us at the $20 tier, so that gets her a shout out on every episode. So, what have you guys been up to since the last episode?
Currently downloading iOS 11 on my iPad.
I thought that was just since the last hour.
Yes, that's the last hour, but
yeah, that's within the time since the last episode.
Yeah. But what else?
I don't know. I've been perusing the Twitters a lot and actually found a new Twitter group that we're actually going to talk about later today.
Yep,
Or
they
tonight.
tweeted earlier today, and that was the Eorzean Glamour Idols.
AKA Eggy.
Eggy!
How long until they have an Idol Master style game available?
Oh my god.
I
Come
think it's
on,
in the
let's
works.
be honest, we would all play that.
It'll be available on iOS and Windows Phone, not Android.
Don't forget your Zune.
Oh my god.
Welcome to the social.
And just back.
How about you,
You
Chille?
now remember that Zune existed.
I remembered Zune existed because of frickin' Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, that was beautiful. It can hold 160 songs, or whatever it said.
God.
How about you, Chille? What have you been up to?
Stuff and things.
Just stuff and things.
That sounds like a fun
Yeah.
time.
Half the stuff I can't talk about, but in game I've been helping a friend out. He's just recently joined the game a couple of weeks ago, and so I've been helping him play through. He's currently just beaten Titan last time. Yeah,
Oh.
Ooh,
I helped him through it. So
This
that's
is,
exciting.
are you trying to do the
One of us.
Daddy of Light thing for your friend?
no, because he knows who I am. So.
Oh, okay. No, you're
You
gonna.
talking a high pitched? Do you talk in a high pitched meow voice?
Well, no, Lalafell, so no.
Oh, okay. So you maniacally laugh. Okay, got it.
Yeah, I laugh all the time. It's fine.
All Lalafell are disturbingly deep voiced. It's a thing for some reason.
Or disturbingly high pitched voice.
That
Yes.
wouldn't be disturbing, is the thing.
Oh, it's
I
kind
can
of
show
disturbing.
you some. I can show you some Lalafell voices that will creep you out that are not deep toned.
No, thank you.
Yeah, like that one that
No,
sounds like
if
the
I get to have
orgasm.
nightmares, you get to have nightmares too. We share the nightmares together, Sarah.
I don't think that's how nightmares work.
No, that's how it works. Haven't you ever seen Freddy Krueger? God.
I'm just gonna be over here now.
Another one thing Luna forgot to mention is we actually got to hang out a little bit this week.
Oh yeah, that happened, didn't it?
That was a thing. It was only a couple of days
He-
ago too.
He got me a burger.
Yeah, we went to Smash Burger.
Oh, that makes more sense. I thought I heard he got me a murder. I'm like, what?
Yes, Chille. I got Luna a murder.
He's murdering me with that cholesterol.
Like,
Oh my
it
God.
could be like a murder of crows.
Yes, I got Luna crows. And she's still counting them. She's counting crows.
I'm being asked for a hug from a little one.
Aw.
Yay.
And what else did you get, Luna?
As far as what?
You got a mouse pad?
Yes, I got a brand. Pardon me. He's asking for a hug. You want to say hi?
More hugs.
Talk loud.
Hi.
Hi.
Yo.
No.
Show's being taken over, guys.
Yep.
You guys can't hear.
Oh, they can hear you. Trust me. You're hard not to hear.
I can't. I need to.
Okay, you say hi really quick.
Hi.
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 And that's the cute part of the podcast, guys.
That new host. Bye, everyone.
Yep, they're replacing Chille and Seyrr.
Wait, what?
They're much cheaper. And
I mean, I can't argue with that, but I specifically outlined this in my contract. No replacing me with child labor.
well, it's technically not labor. We're not paying them. I mean, well, we're not
Shit.
paying you either. So, and what
I was gonna say, how's it
contract?
going to be cheaper when you don't pay us anyway? Is it like, do they pay you? Is that why it's cheap?
Well, then we're not replacing you, Chille.
I have the worst attorneys.
Anyway, and it didn't send out a notification to me either, Talaz. I think it's because I streamed earlier today, so it's really weird. I can't explain it. Twitch does weird things. They don't like to send out multiple notifications apparently for
Like play
streamers.
Pokemon.
Yes, that too.
And stream Yu-Gi-Oh!
Anyway, I Luna had asked for a new mouse pad for her birthday, so I was I went out to Walgreens and I put her artwork on a mouse pad for her.
Oh.
So she has a that artwork that she drew for the podcast on a nice white mouse pad.
Nice.
So I thought that was kind of neat. I really wish that Redbubble had mouse pads though.
Yeah, that's kind of weird that they don't.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they have iPad cases and they have shirts and they have a whole bunch of other stuff, but no mouse pads. They should get on that.
Yeah, Redbubble. What the hell?
You're letting everyone down.
Yes. All right. So, anything else you guys want to talk about before we jump into the gaming community news?
I finished my last Zodiac Zeta.
Ooh.
Congratulations.
So you're now done with that insanity, ready to jump into the Heavensward ones?
Oh, I've already been in the middle of that. I have a spreadsheet going.
Why doesn't that...
Technically, it was all just one spreadsheet because some of them fed into the others. So mostly I was just able to lop a couple lines off of it, which was really satisfying.
None of this surprises me.
Like, do you not understand the sheer joy for those of us who make spreadsheets?
I work with spreadsheets every day, and no.
You lucky man. They're
All
little
right.
miracles of organization.
Moving on. All right, let's start with a little bit of Dissidia NT news. Beta wraps up tomorrow, so if you haven't yet had the opportunity to test it out, I do strongly recommend going out to the PlayStation Store and searching for the Dissidia Final Fantasy NT beta. It's a lot of fun. Chille and I have been actually playing quite a bit of it over the last week,
It was fun.
among a few other things that Chille has been doing. He's been doing a lot of beta testing, but he can talk about that on his other podcast.
Other podcasts.
But I want to spend a little time talking about our thoughts on how Dissidia NT looks and feels. I didn't get in on the closed beta, so I really can't comment on if there's much difference between the two. But
I was in the closed beta, and I haven't actually gotten to play the open beta much, but I didn't see a whole lot of difference.
Okay.
The UI is different, that's for certain.
Yeah, but I mean, the closed beta had just a lot less stuff going on. There wasn't access to a lot of the story mode or other things like that.
Though granted, the story mode right now I think is just cutscenes. That's all that's available. And there's only 4 stages of cutscenes right now.
But it was greatly streamlined down for the purpose of that. I feel like it was more just to test basic netcode and things like that.
Yep. So what they've opened up is they allow us to do a little bit of offline fighting, where we can fight with 2 computer characters against 3 computer opponents, as well as do full 3-on-3 online battles. You can queue up solo, or you can queue up in parties of 2 or 3. And I've had some fun queuing up with Chille and Anatolius. It's been a lot of fun to play with those guys and get our asses kicked, because I'm really bad at the game.
I'm really bad as well.
Who
But
have you been playing as?
everybody,
Shantoto. Mostly Shantoto.
I found that I really, really enjoy Kefka.
He has a really interesting style. If it's anything like Duodecim or the original Dissidia, very unpredictable, difficult to dodge stuff.
Yeah, he's just kind of batshit insane, and it's amazing. But I think the one I've been having the most luck with and consistent fun fighting as is Noctis. Amazingly,
I still haven't tried him yet.
he is actually really easy to play.
Oh,
He fits my play style, I should say. Maybe everybody else has different character styles that work for them. Noctis seems to work for my play style, but maybe it's just because he's really easy to play and I'm just a scrub. I don't know. Regardless, I'm enjoying the game, and I will probably end up picking it up. I don't know if I'm going to get it right away on release, because we have a patch that's coming out that day. And it's going to be a really, really busy day, especially for Chille, right?
Yeah.
How many games do you have coming out that day that you really, 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 really want to play?
3?
Yeah, because you've got Dissidia, you've got patch 4.2, and Dragon Ball Z Fighters, right?
Yeah. 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 It's insane. So
So-
many games.
I mean, for the beginning of the year, that's what's crazy. So, yeah, if you want to go check it out, it is a 18 gig download. But there's like I said, there's one more day left in the beta. I don't know if those files are going to be able to be used to play the game at all, or if you're just going to end up deleting them. But like I said, if you want to give it a try, you still have some time, so jump in. If you're listening to this on the podcast, you may be a little too late to check it out, but you can always go back and check out some of our streams that we've done playing a little bit of Dissidia, and check it out that way. Also, I'm sure PSU is going to have coverage on Dissidia as well in the coming days.
Oh, we plan to cover it. Yes.
All right. Excellent. Anything else that you guys want to talk about with Dissidia?
I was really enjoying it. I think I'm not going to get it day one just because of how many games I do want that day.
Yeah.
And with patch coming out, because I've got to get caught up, because my static will be running Savage that week. So I will need to put a lot of time into this just to make sure I'm ready for it. So
Yep.
So, guys, this kind of is unrelated, but I just spilled water on my keyboard, so I'm kind of freaking out right now. So,
ouch.
let me AFK for a little minute because I can't type shit.
No problem.
Oh, dear.
Clean it up, mute up, and we'll still be here.
I was wondering what I'm watching. I'm watching. Man. Go, clean. Be safe.
All right. Now we'll talk a little bit about Final Fantasy 15. This week they had a big announcement regarding the Final Fantasy 15 Royal Edition.
Because we'll never be... Wait, what?
This is going to release on March 6th of 2018, and it is going to include everything currently available in the game, all of the episodes, the multiplayer comrades mode, and as well as an expanded Insomnia Ruins dungeon, some new bosses, like we're going to get Omega and a couple other new bosses. We get a first-person mode. We're going to get a new move set for the Armiger, and we get to drive a boat.
We're on a boat,
I'm
and
on a boat.
I'm on a boat.
we're going fast, and we got a nautical-themed Pashmina Afghan.
We get to actually fish off of the boat, too, from what I understand.
Ooh.
You know what? Though? I'm worried that I really hope they've added some content for the boat and not just fishing, because from what we saw, it was just like, originally in the game it was just literally sea between two areas. There's nothing to do anyway. So unless they add something to explore, there's really no reason for the boat.
You mean like some islands to go find, or maybe
something.
maybe some swimming like we got in 14?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone said no sea horror, please.
Oh God.
Yeah, we can go whale watching.
Yeah, that'll be good. I'll do that. It's called looking in the mirror.
So, Chille. So they haven't announced a price quite yet on that, and there are rumors that there's going to be an upgrade version that for the current Final Fantasy 15 owners, that they can pay to unlock this content.
It's not a rumor; it is a thing, but we just don't know.
Yeah, we don't have
how
facts
much.
yet, so that's why I'm saying it's still a rumor. But hopefully, we'll get some more information in the coming weeks. The other cool thing that they announced was the Windows edition is going to be released on the same day. So it's going to be the Final Fantasy 15 Royal Edition, but available on the Windows platform. It's also going to support mods and have 4K native resolution available. So it's going to be pretty cool. They listed minimum specs. You're going to want at least Windows 7 64-bit. You want to have at least a second generation Core i5 or an AMD FX 6100. At least a 76 or a 700. I can talk today. GeForce 760 or an AMD R9 280. 8 gigs of RAM. 100 gigs of free space on your hard drive. Damn. And
Makes sense.
That's a big ass game though.
PS4 version's about 60, 70 gigs, so with the 4K assets.
I suppose, those higher resolution assets are going to take up some more space. So, I mean, don't expect to put this on your SSD, though. I mean, because most of them aren't that big. Unless you got lucky and have a big SSD. And then it's going to run off of DirectX 11. So those are the minimum specs. You can always run it on higher spec, but yeah. I'm contemplating getting it for Windows, just for mod support.
Those sound reasonable specs, though. They're not crazy like some of them.
No, it's not outlandish. Just the amount of hard drive space it's going to take is a little bit crazy. That's my only thing with that. But I mean, if the upgrade for the PS4 version isn't too bad, I might just go that route instead. And wait until it goes on sale on the Windows platform. So, I mean, granted, it'll be easier to stream it if it's on PC. Plus, I'd be interested in what kind of mods are available. Anyway, that basically covers that. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we get into the live letter?
I'll be quiet because the live letter's so long. So.
Yeah, there's a lot there.
All right, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Hopefully Luna can join us soon. All right. All of our information is going to be coming from the Reddit mega thread, as well as the official forums translations. I will give you guys links to those so you guys can follow along if you would like. I'll copy and paste that into the Twitch chat. First one is the Reddit subthread. The second one is a short link for the official forums.
And of course, all this is unofficial translation, so details subject to change.
The Reddit one is unofficial. The other one is official.
But also usually tends to be a little bit less on the details.
Yeah, though Matt's been pretty good on that. They've been providing him with translated information right away so he can get it out to us. Mm-hmm. And not just us, but French and German as well, I believe.
I mean, I imagine that they have like a lot of the information they're going to be covering arranged ahead of time, so they can have the translation ready.
Exactly. So we have been given an official date, January 30th. As I stated before, patch 4.2 is named Rise of a New Sun. We basically called it. It was going to be on the 30th. We didn't think it was going to be coming up on this Tuesday. Sorry, Chille.
Yep.
Oh, speaking of which, happy early birthday, Chille.
Yeah, thank you.
Because Chille's
Happy
birthday is on
birthday.
the 23rd. Which he was
Well,
hope-
sidetracking.
I know, but I wanted to get that out there because I forgot to mention it.
You're sidetracking by explaining shit.
Quiet.
Well, thank you so much.
Make sure to wish Chille a happy birthday on the 23rd. Continuing on. It will be a 24-hour maintenance on Monday. Whoa.
They're going to be doing more housing, and that's going to be opening up a good hour or so,
No,
or possibly
no, a
week
week.
after. Okay.
The hour
They-
was unofficial error.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're going to have more housing, but it's not going to be when the servers come up. We are avoiding that clusterfuck at
Yep.
least.
Well, I looked on the official forums and I didn't see anything about it coming out waiting an hour. It's going to be on the 1 week. So would that be the 6th, I believe?
It'll be in the official patch notes, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But housing will not be coming up, available immediately after, so no need to stay up until whatever AM this time.
Yes, unless you want to unlock everything else.
Yeah, but there's a little bit less of the I have to do that before the rest of the server makes the MSQ unavailable or something.
Yep. Servers will not open early, so don't have to worry about that. But the patch will be available for download. Let's see.
Yeah, the servers will
There's
never be. I find it weird they always say that because the servers would never be open early because it's reset day and they wouldn't want people to have a chance to get a few of the new tombstones before the reset happened.
I suspect they say that because there are other maintenances and the like where they do wrap up early.
Mhm.
And so they want to make clear which ones that's not going to happen. Because I know some of the other ones I have waited around. If I don't have anything to do the next day and I want to get in a little last gathering, I'll wait up and see if they finish early.
Yeah, but they're not going to be opening early for this one. So, like I said, Monday you're going to have to find something else to do. Too bad we can't play something like Dissidia Final Fantasy NT, but that won't be out till the next day. Or Dragon Ball Z Fighters.
Klaus, sidetracking.
It was a joke, Seyrr.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to do this every time you sidetrack.
I was looking to see if I could find the patch trailer video to link, but I couldn't find it. We'll have it
It's
in
on-
the show notes, though.
It's
not
on the main page of the Lodestone. It
Yeah.
is not difficult to find.
Yep, if
you
you
should
need-
watch it.
We'll put it in the show notes after for the podcast as well. So some new mounts that we're getting: the Auspicious Kamui, and that's what. That's the
That's another doggo.
it's a Byakko doggo,
Yep.
I love this new dog.
a tiger dog. What?
It's amazing. I want it.
It actually does look pretty freaking cool. It's kind of zebra striped and same color scheme as Byakko.
And it's got tiger blood. # winning.
Quiet. We are getting a Magitech Deathclaw, which is going to be available for purchase with points from your achievements. Thank you. It was at the tip of my tongue.
That one's rather entertaining looking. The picture of it shows the Deathclaw holding a Lalafell dangling from it as if it were some kind of hang glider.
Yeah, I linked
Also-
that picture in the stream, so you can take a look at that if you want.
Also, it's the most metal of all mounts because you can notice it's actually doing the devil hand hitball as well, with the two fingers pointing out.
It is the Deathclaw. And then we are getting an all-white griffin called the True Griffin. I want one that's blue, like Voxstein.
So this is. I wonder how this is going to come out because the last one was because of the.
Heaven's Word Collector's Edition, I believe.
Well, True Griffins are something that we've actually seen in the mountains around Alamigo in the peaks, and their symbol is the griffin. So I wouldn't be surprised if this was somehow related to. Well, the MSQ is focusing on Doma this time, isn't it?
So I don't know. We'll see where it comes from. They'll
I was
tell us.
thinking because they added a Fat Chocobo mount for those who couldn't get the collector's edition of the Fat Chocobo, and this is kind of done the same thing with the True Griffin that instead of the collector's edition Griffin.
Possibly, but I
Maybe.
mean, people can still upgrade and get the Collector's Edition items.
They can, but this way people can get them for free and be slightly different.
Yeah. Like I said, I still want the blue variant. For those who hunt, that you guys know what I'm talking about.
No idea.
You've never seen the giant blue griffin in the peaks?
No.
Oh, he's just amazingly beautiful.
As I said before, I still can't fly there.
Well, whose fault is that?
My own.
Damn right.
All right. Again, they talked about the new trials of the four lords, starting with Byakko. We'll have the Jade Stoa and the Jade Stoa Extreme. No real major change there, but they did show some of that fight, and those forms, they're crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Byakko is buff.
That arm is a little unsettling.
Did you see the tweet that Mr. Happy made? Saying that we got buff Byakko. What's next? We're gonna have Swole Seiryu, Gaines, Genbu, and.
You're done talking.
No, this was Happy. I'm quoting his tweet.
He's also done talking.
We wish.
Oh,
Anyway.
Let's see. We got some job adjustments. Let me read at least something.
Okay.
All jobs are going to be getting some amount of adjustment. The main goal is to try to normalize the performance between jobs of the same role, but letting them keep their unique characteristics. Samurai, Red Mage, Bard, Dragoon, and Ninja have been stated that they will not be getting any direct adjustments. Though the diversion role action is going to have both its effect magnitude increased dramatically and its infect duration doubled. So that should help a little bit with hate management.
What does diversion do again?
Diversion is a reduction in your enmity. So it used to be that would have your enmity gain. Now it's going to cut it to about 10%.
Wow. Very nice.
Which is great for monks.
Yeah. Among the tanks, DPS is going to be buffed a little bit for Dark Knight and for Warrior, and it's going to be reduced a little bit for Paladin to try to bring them in line. Dark's usability is going to be improved, though they haven't said too much about the details. Warrior, the Beast Gauge management is going to be simplified. They're going to reduce the effect of Storm's Eye in exchange for buffing other actions. Kind of the same thing that happened with Dragoon, where Heavy Thrust was adjusted and then all the other actions were adjusted a little bit.
Yeah, Storm's Eye was a little bit OP, but I mean, it would be nice to have a little bit of balance with the rest of the actions that they have.
They'll also be making some changes to Inner Release and Berserk.
Due to the Paladin nerfs. Spoons!
Yeah, I'm not sure that they needed to nerf Paladin. It wasn't that OP, I didn't think.
So among the DPS, Machinist's Hypercharge will reduce the vulnerability up effect very slightly, from 6% down to 5%. Black Mages are getting some of the biggest changes here.
Yeah.
Fire Force potency will be increased. They're going to increase the duration of Thundercloud and Firestarter procs by about 6 seconds. Ethereal Manipulation's recast time is going to be reduced to 10 seconds. They did verify that this is reducing it to 10 seconds, not reducing it by 10 seconds. So you're going to be able to fly all around the battlefield. They'll also be reducing Transpose's recast time to 8 seconds.
Yeah, because it wasn't Ethereal Manipulation a 30-second cooldown?
Might have been longer than that. I'm not sure now.
But a 10-second cooldown? Damn.
Yep. Between that and their Between the Lines ability that lets them jump back to their ley lines every 3 seconds, Black Mages should be able to whisk themselves around the battlefield a bit more easily.
Gee, I wonder what job is Yoshi's favorite.
Summoner is going to have their AoE DPS nerfed. They did say that the single target DPS might be slightly buffed in exchange. Some people were reading based on Yoshida's tone, they expect that buff is going to be very small. It sounds like Summoner was a little more powerful in AoE than the other jobs that they liked.
Well, Summoner has always been a really powerful AoE job.
Right. And for Monk,
for Chille.
Riddle of Wind, that's the shoulder tackle variant that lets you do 2 charges, will now be able to grant a Greased Lightning stack. The damage increase on Brotherhood, the capstone ability, will now infect the casting monk as well as their allies, and they're reducing the recast times on Mantra and Perfect Balance.
What do you think of that, Chille?
Yeah. Anything that, like, I was just leveling Monk the other day. Anything that lets you keep your stacks up is so beautiful.
Do we need to give you a minute to compose yourself now, Chille?
Can I just say how beautiful this is?
I'm actually happy that... I'm surprised that Brotherhood didn't already affect the monk itself.
No, it only gave the damage boost to everyone but the monk.
I know Bards...
The monk got the chakra openings.
Yeah,
We got the chakra in return, so...
I know Bards had a similar thing where a lot of our buffs wouldn't affect us, but I think they've changed that in subsequent updates. But so it's nice to see that they're doing the same thing with Monk.
And for the healers, they've mentioned that the usability for all healers will be improved. Though again, they didn't go into too much detail about this at this point.
Patch notes will have that info.
Yeah. They did mention a specific change coming for Scholars. Excogitation, the move that drops a massive heal when your target drops below 50%. When its effect duration expires, it will now have that heal go off instead of expiring without effect.
Which that's...
My Scholar friends are still praying for the tanks to take lots of damage, but it's nice to know that it will heal one way or the other.
Yep, now they don't have to worry about them taking that extra damage. The effect will be not be lost.
Yep. So yeah,
all right.
Those are the job adjustments they mentioned.
I mean, I'd like to see how these actually play out. Like I said, some of the balance, like I said, with the tanks, I can see the buffs being needed for Dark, because I've heard that they've really had a lot of issue in Savage at this point, even though the first group that beat Ultimate Bahamut contained a Dark. A lot of groups were having issues getting a lot of damage out of them versus a Warrior. But
you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say this here. I think my interview was what made them change Monk. I'm going to claim my interview did it.
You go ahead and do that, Chille.
Yes, actually.
Now, the next thing they talked about was something that's been around since 1.0, but it has been basically useless. They're finally removing elemental resistances. They're going away. So,
oh no, but they're so useful.
All of those materia you've been getting will be gone.
So my understanding is that any existing ones that aren't in armor, you'll still be able to use them for re-rolling with Mutamix, and the tier 4 elemental materia will still be available for trading in for Crystal Sand for the Anima quest line.
Okay. Otherwise, maybe they'll have another way you can use them for trade them for another materia.
I mean, the way you trade them out is to take them with other materia to Mutamix and have them re-roll 5 of them.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. That's all they've been useful for at this point.
All I know is I'm going to stock some of it, all of it, and then I can keep it forever, hoarding it until the
You're gonna get stacks of $9.99 of every single one of them, and put them in your Chocobo saddlebags.
And they'll be like, "What's this mysterious elemental material?" I'm like, "Oh, back in the day, it was so good. It was the best thing in the game."
And you sell it to people.
I am told that the reason for this elemental resistance change is that elemental modifiers are now going to figure into Eureka's system with your development and stat growth based on the elemental balance you achieve there.
I wonder how that's going to actually play out then.
Well, I heard that certain monsters will be weak against certain elements, so it's best to have certain parties design. Yeah, I mean,
doesn't that kind of go against exactly what they've been doing with this entire game?
They did say that with Eureka, they did want to try something specifically.
Eureka's going to be new, so
very cool. I mean, like I said, I'm not opposed to it.
It is kind of a place for them to experiment with this, I suppose. Let's see, we've got some housing updates. They're going to add an additional 6 wards to each residential area, so that's going to be increasing the housing supply by about 50%. Those plots, as said, will be added 1 week after the patch drops. They're making rather a lot of changes to how purchasing happens. Some plots will now be designated specifically for free companies, and those will be able to be purchased by an FC that has at least 4 members. So no individual FCs purchasing stuff that way. They will make personal housing not available to purchase for a limited time, and they are going to evaluate and remove that at an appropriate time.
Yep. So in 1 week from when the patch drops, the only people who are going to be able to buy housing are those who are allowed to in free companies. Which means at least 4 people in your free company and have earned the right to purchase housing. Correct. By doing enough whatevers. And I believe that also is going to include you won't be able to relocate a personal house to one of these other wards that are coming out. Correct. It sounds like one of the things that they were concerned about was how many FCs were still unable to get a house when there were players who had large scads of housing. Yep. Yep. So yeah, that's another nice thing. Yeah, one house. Related to that. Go ahead. It's one. You're going to be limited to 1 private home and 1 free company estate per world
per service account.
Yes.
So if you have multiple characters on a given world, only one of them is going to be able to own a personal house.
Yep. And you can have a personal house and an FC house on the same character. Or you can have a personal house on one character and own a free company house on another character. Mm-hmm. But you can't have multiples anymore.
They will be establishing a special website to help people understand how the housing system works. It sounds like at various times there have been confusions and people have made mistakes or done things they didn't want to do because of misunderstandings. So they're going to try to explain that a little more clearly.
Yep.
And the other change that they're making is that while relocation is still going to work as normal, relinquishing the plot will not be available to purchase for a limited but undetermined period of time.
No.
I think the goal there is to make it pretty much kill the ability for players to sell a plot to another player.
Yep.
Yoshi P seemed really annoyed that people were still doing it.
Yeah. I mean, I understand why people do it. I understand why he would be annoyed at it.
Well,
given that they don't want to nuke the entire system from the ground and start over, this honestly seems like the best they could do for accomplishing their goals given the system they have.
I mean, the only thing they could do to make it fair at this point would be to introduce real estate agents into the game. Or some sort of system you can use where you can put your house up for sale.
I am going to make like 500 million gil by starting a realtor licensing board.
You know what I'm saying, though, right?
Yeah, I don't even want to try to touch this one.
Well, I don't know how it would work, but I mean, that would be the only way they could do it is if they were using a system within the game to control changing plots over between characters.
Well, I'm still living off the money from selling my original house.
Chille, that's against TOS.
Well, like the whole free company and everything in it.
Yep.
Oh, that's slightly less against TOS.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you had mentioned this when you first were talking about this, but we are getting 6 new wards.
I did a 50% increase.
Okay. But
yeah, that's the big stuff for housing changes.
So I was right on that one, Chille. You had said 2. Remember that? On She Heals I Tank, we were calling it out. You said 2, and Avi and I said 6. So we were right. Ha.
Yeah, there's no way they do 2. It'd be 14, and 14 is a weird number. You like numbers that are divisible by 3, if not by 6.
But 14's a lucky number.
No, it isn't.
Final
7's a
Fantasy
lucky
14.
Nah.
14 is 7 times 2.
Yeah. And
So it's twice as lucky.
Number.
Also, I'm trying to stall a little bit so we can see if Luna can join us here shortly. We can always come back to it and get her idea on it.
We got our first previews of the Sigmascape.
My turn now. My turn. I want to talk.
I'm fine.
All right. So everybody was excited as hell when they saw who the first boss was for Sigmascape. It was the Phantom Train.
Oh my god.
The fight appears to actually have you on a train car being pushed by the Phantom Train. No word yet on whether we'll be able to suplex it, but I know a lot of people are hoping.
Everybody's hoping that Godbird is going to join us at the end and suplex it once we defeat it.
No.
Yes.
It's an active time event in the middle of the fight.
But no, but Godbird has to come in and do it.
No.
Yes.
That would be lame. Also,
Godbird or Riot.
My FC leader has been commenting that if there's a suplex available, that it would clearly be something that a monk would have to do, and thus it will never happen because no one brings monks to raids.
Hey, Mike, well, I got a raid group and I'm a monk.
No, Fairizer will not be a Phoenix down and insta-win. I do not think they're going to do that.
That would be pretty hilarious.
It would
be. To be fair, though, Fairizer, that's impossible because you can't use Phoenix Downs in battle.
That's true.
Oh.
Good point. But you can listen to Phoenix Down Radio. Close enough?
In battle.
Yes, you can listen
to
us in
battle.
battle.
Not kill the train for you.
We might kill your soul, but that's about it.
And then your soul can ride the train. And then you can maybe, backstab it while you're on top of the locomotive.
Yeah. Then they also showed another boss. We don't know if it was the second or the third one, but we basically get to fight that phantom painting as well. The name on that was what?
They showed enough preview images that we have a good guess at all 4 bosses of the Sigmascape.
Do you think
that
that behemoth type mob is going to be one of the bosses too?
So the second one does look to be Chardanook. That would be the name of the painting that switches
Yes.
between the goddess and demon, Chardanook.
Thank you.
The third one looks like it might be the Guardian. There's pictures of screens showing Ultros, the Imperial Air Force, and Dodaluma, which are the programs that the Guardian runs during your battle with him in FF6.
But
Right before the robot drops into the arena.
Yeah, but that final boss.
Ultras, yay!
It had everybody dancing mad.
Yeah, the moment we started hearing the music piece, I was like, okay, what exactly are they doing with this?
This might get me to raid Savage tier.
Yeah, it's unclear. So we can just stop dancing around and say it, right?
Kafka. Confirmed.
Yeah. It's unclear whether it's going to be something like with the previous Savage, the Deltascape Savage, where you had X-Death, and then only in the Savage version did Neo X-Death show up.
Playing that
Or,
laugh in the background, Chille. Damn it, Chille, stop it.
But yeah, it's unclear if this will be something, if there'll be some form that's exclusive to the Savage version. For that matter, it's not immediately clear why Omega wants us to fight these various replications of the Final Fantasy VI story, but...
Well, if it's anything similar to Deltascape, it's basically they're just 4 very strong bosses from history.
Yeah, but I suspect there's more depth to what's going on with him that we'll find out as we go.
Yeah.
I really hope Kafka breaks free.
Oh god, no. We have enough world-destroying lunatics.
Because, that's his whole stick, isn't it? Not being controlled.
Like... no, his whole shtick was just destroying things. He just really likes destruction. He thinks everything is meaningless, and the only meaning you get is out of destroying things and reducing it to ruin.
I still want him to break free, just so we can have him in the future and something else.
I also had some friends speculate that given that we had Final Fantasy V for the first one and Final Fantasy VI for the second, wondering if One Winged Angel might be in our future.
That's something that I was thinking about, but everyone's kind of speculating that we're going to end up with Omega as the final boss.
I have trouble thinking we'd fight Omega, actually. I'd like to... Like, the idea that, oh, hey, it's this super powerful thing that defeated the Allagans or controlled the Allagans for aeons, and we go up and beat it up. I think it's more interesting if we, manage to drive it away or convince it to leave, but we don't actually kill it.
What if it just gets bored and leaves?
Could be.
We defeat all its things, it goes, oh, well, that's your limit, bye.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm in the wrong on this, but I get the feeling that we're not going to actually fight Omega itself.
I mean, like I said, it's all speculation. So, I mean,
well, yeah,
I welcome
this is
it.
speculation too.
The other thing that we could get is maybe we'll get a 4th tier.
They did mention the patch cycle is going to be a bit longer this time, so that's also a possibility.
We could have a 4.6 with a 4th tier where we fight Omega then, which allows us to get Sephiroth in the next phase.
Yeah, but then how long do you keep pushing it, though? If you say, oh, we'll get Sephiroth next, do we get Ultimisia?
Hey, time compression! Time compression!
Yeah.
Everyone loves time compression. It confuses no one.
And then do we have Necron for the floor after that?
I don't want to explain time compression to people again.
But so, yeah,
Wouldn't it be Kuja?
Technically, Necron was the last boss.
Okay. Well, we'd get Kuja in there, too. And then we would have to get Sin.
At this... if they go that far into the patch cycle, we have other issues.
Yeah. I mean...
You Yevons.
No.
I'd rather they just have a get. To be fair, it would become fun if we actually forced Sid, to be honest. So, yeah, if it was... If we've got airships, imagine if we could have an actual airship battle against Sid. That'd be amazing.
It's tier 3, or turn 3, all over again. So yeah, Sigmascape.
Yep. Please look forward to it. And the thing they did mention is there will be they will have normal and savage mode available on day 1. You are right on that, Chille.
Yay!
Let the grand race begin.
Basically, yeah, it's going to be a whole new world first race.
Remember, you have to beat normal still before you can unlock the savages.
Truth. But people will unlock that within like a couple hours.
Don't get too angry if your day 1 party doesn't know the full strategy yet.
Yeah, because
The
I'm
full
going to have to work.
strategy may not exist yet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to work, so I won't be clearing normal until the night of the 30th.
Huh. All right. What do we have next on the docket here?
Next is they showed off the performance updates. So they showed us the harp, grand piano, the pizzicato, and a steel guitar. What's a pizzicato?
How the hell are we lugging around a grand piano?
Well, we're actually not lugging it around, unfortunately. It's all played on the harp.
Wow, that is some harp then.
Yes. It is a Moog. Oh.
I feel bad about this now.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of disappointed though because I would love to have like someone playing the piano at my Lalafell just laying on it with a rose.
So pizzicato specifically refers to a technique of playing a violin or a fiddle, where instead of like sawing across it with the bow, you're plucking individual strings.
Okay.
So
that's what we
essentially,
get.
essentially like you're playing the violin. It's those bits of Flight of the Bumblebee where you're plucking out individual notes.
It's a plucked violin.
Yep.
Your violin is plucked. So performance actions can now be assigned directly to controller buttons or keyboard keys. You won't have to worry about remapping anything. So it'll be a separate mapping scheme. You're not going to have to worry about ruining your existing game UI. It's a totally separate system.
I look forward to your symphonic masterpieces.
I hope to come up with some really cool ones. Like I said, the only thing that I didn't really get with when he was showing it off to us was exactly how they were going back and forth between octaves. So that's the only thing that I'm slightly still, I don't know about.
I'm sure they will have very complete instructions.
Hopefully. Minor UI changes, a new sound option to adjust volume from party members. Cool. This one I was hoping Luna would be on with us to talk about because I know she would love to just go all over this. The fashion report.
Oh my god, I am so about that.
Yes. A new weekly mini game in the Gold Saucer. Why don't you tell us about it, Seyrr?
So, with this mini game, you're going to be given a particular theme, and you have to choose gear that is going to be appropriate for it. You're not going to be given any hints about how good about what would be good for it, other than just what the theme is. But you do get 4 attempts to try to get as high a rating from the NPC as possible. There is a 10,000 MGP prize, along with bonus MGP for additional high scores. So, cute, fluffy little thing, but given how often we say glamour is the true end game, here is a chance to actually try to show off your chops at it.
Yep. So it looks interesting. It looks like there's basically a dressing dummy that you get to attach specified gear to, and if she likes it, cool, you get MGP. If not, better luck next week.
And it seems like a fun opportunity to learn about the various sorts of gear that are available in the game for people who maybe aren't quite as much up on their glamour, a chance to learn about new things and practice a bit.
Yep, and it looked like the items you get to pick from are given to you as a part of the game. You don't have to own them or have them in your glamour dresser. If I saw it correctly.
Yeah. We'll get more details on that. It does seem like something where they're going to try to make it accessible, so...
And you get a lot of MGP as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's 10K per week. That's really good.
No, that's not the highest you can get.
No, but I mean, that if you win, that's what you get.
No,
Yeah, 10K
at
just for
least. At least.
Just for yeah, that's not the payment. That's the prize.
Yeah.
Yep. So,
They
speaking
said
of
the
glamour,
fact that
go ahead. You were gonna
they
say.
said the fact that if you get over 80, you'll actually get a bonus on top of that 10k.
Yep, they didn't say what the bonus was though, or how much.
Yeah,
But it just sounds like you do can get bonus if you do an especially good job at it.
yeah.
Okay, speaking of glamour, they go over the glamour updates. The biggest thing that I notice is nobody's calling it the glamour toilet anymore.
That's because they renamed it.
Yes, it is the glamour dresser,
That's not what commode means.
but it is now called the glamour dresser. I still think I agree with Avi on this one. They should have called it the glamour vanity.
That feels a little too on the nose.
Exactly. Gotta love that. Anyway,
Now, one thing that I was not clear on I saw a couple different translations or back and forth on this. It's one. Some sources seem to suggest that if the glamour plate that you put glamours into the dresser, and then you can create plates assembled from items that are in the dresser. And those plates are sort of complete outfits that get put over whatever you're currently wearing. Some sources I saw seem to suggest that if the plate you make does not contain a weapon, which would lock into a particular job, that you can put it over any set of clothing. Another source seemed to suggest that the usual job and class restrictions would still be in effect.
yeah, I'm going to assume that we're still going to have job and class restrictions.
The dream of Battle Chef Seyrr is dead.
Yep. Well, I mean, I think the biggest reason for that would be to make sure you don't have mages that look like tanks and vice versa.
What would be wrong with that, huh?
It could be confusing with PvP and stuff like that. I don't know.
Battle
Like I said,
Chef Seyrr.
woo. Ale cuisine.
I want to be a botanist monk.
Basically, what they were saying again, 200 items can be put within the glamour dresser. You take your item that you want to put in there, and it converts it from an actual wearable piece into a glamour crystal.
The most recent stuff I'd seen said that it's not going to be permanently converted, that you can actually remove stuff from it without it being lost.
Okay,
You
so
can bring it
you can reconstitute it, so to speak.
Yep.
Interesting. Well, we'll have to see, because like I said, I haven't seen confirmation or denial of that. It was just, I guess, assumed that once it's converted to a glamour, it is gone from being worn. But there will be expansions coming upon it. But like I said, for right now, it's only available within the inn rooms at the 3 starting city-states.
Yep. They mentioned that they're concerned about the load this might put on the server. So for the moment, they want to limit the area where you're interacting with it, since that's going to reduce the effect of the server load, and they'll see how it plays out.
Yep.
I'm going to say something incredibly stupid here that
Oh my.
is really stupid, I think.
You never say anything stupid, though.
I know, it's rare, but I know that people want it because it looks so really nice to have it in their house. So why don't we just have a glamour version of it where it doesn't do anything, it's just the appearance?
A glamour dresser. I love it. Huh.
Chille, if you could only see me face palming over here.
Huh.
I mean, that was beautiful, actually, but I'm still
Yeah.
face palming.
And we've got that Chocobo saddlebag coming in. It's an extra 70 slots.
Yep. You cannot actually directly interact with it. You have to move the item from the saddlebags back to your normal inventory before you can use it.
Yep. So it's more, here's a place to stash stuff.
Yes.
If I go over to the Vath compound and fill my Chocobo saddlebags with 70 stacks of black fire sand, do you think the Ishgardians are going to stop me at customs?
Yes.
Sephiroth just got a 10-minute timeout.
No, I unbanned him. I unbanned him.
Okay, good.
But no more all caps there, Seth. So
I don't know what happened there.
he's been awake for 30 hours. He's down to hear people talk about the salt of the house scalpers.
Oh dear.
You should know better. This is a civilized chat room.
Last.
Okay, we're attempting to be civilized, damn it. Anyway, I've still yet to figure out how to keep Opinion Bot from actually banning people for 10 minutes, so at least I figured out how to unban people myself. So.
Well, I'm excited to see you, Sephiroth. So.
Are you sure you're excited to see him, or is that just a never mind?
No, I like him. He's awesome.
It was just.
I like the member of the Crucible. Go check them out.
At the Crucible, ffxiv.tumblr.com.
Yeah, that one.
Yes, Opinion Bot. It has an iron fist.
Love you too.
All right.
Now go check them out.
Also, welcome, Sophia Mooncat. We were actually just about to jump into the interview that you had with Luna. Unfortunately, Luna is having some technical difficulties, and she is unable to join us in the chat, in the voice chat now. Luna, you're still in the Discord. Do you want us to continue on?
Her keyboard's not working. I don't think she can type there.
She's got a phone.
She's typed in Twitch a few times. So.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Luna. I'm sorry. I must have drooled so much over the monk changes that I've somehow destroyed your keyboard from over here. I'm really sorry.
So until we get confirmation from Luna with what she wants to do on that, I'm assuming she probably wants us to continue on. We can hold off on it for a second. We can skip and jump right into the lore segment at this point.
Yeah, I would like to save that for when Luna can actually present it, given the work she put in on
Personally,
that.
I would as well, but I want to give Luna the opportunity to make that determination. So let's go ahead and jump into lore while we wait for Luna to get back to us.
All right, so been a while, everyone. I missed you so much. So for this lore this time around, while we were talking about on the Phoenix Down Radio Discord, Mithrin Scarlet asked, here we are, I didn't make it to XI Endgame. Can you do a segment on each of the 4 lords and Tenzin and stuff? And yes, I most certainly can. So today it's going to be Sky Party Team Up. Auto-translate shenanigans.
Red Mage looking for party, please send tell.
Now, make sure to track all the way out to the freaking Boyata tree to the 3rd camp, because the first 2 are taken, and they'll disband after 2 pulls. There you go.
My snake oils, guys.
Don't forget your deodorant.
That stuff doesn't even do anything! Like, deodorants was so freaking difficult to use!
No, I'm saying for most of those players, they needed their deodorant. Phew.
Oh. So anyways...
Anyway.
So we'll start with FF14. Of course, we're going to learn a lot more about this once the patch drops. So for the moment, most of you who have been following those 4.2 patch previews are already going to know this. But just for the sake of completeness, we have from the official patch site, legend tells of a peerless samurai who, at the behest of a king, ventured forth to drive a host of Oni into the sea. Yet for all his strength, Tenzin could not do this alone, and so he turned to the 4 lords, greatest of the auspices, for assistance. Together they succeeded, and afterwards journeyed west far from the realms of men to live out their days in solitude. A fairy tale, perhaps, but often in such tales a kernel of truth can be found. Now there's been some expectation that we were going to get this since well before Stormflood even released. The world map of the Far East does show 4 creatures surrounding the islands that make up Hingashi, and players almost immediately made the connection between those creatures and the 4 gods. The only other thing that was at all notable was that we know Byakko will be fought at the Jade Stoa. Now, a stoa is a covered walkway or portico that is usually lined with columns. Comes from the ancient Greek. The Stoics took their name from that, as they often met under a stoa. Given that the trailer shows a battlefield surrounded by bamboo, and does show several stone spires in the distance that seem to be arranged in 2 lines of columns, that name, the Jade Stoa, is probably meant to give this evocative feel to a natural location. Did not see any particular connection to Byakko there, except that a bamboo forest is a place where one might reasonably encounter a tiger.
Is it crouching?
Is he great?
So, For those of you who played Final Fantasy XI, you're going to recognize Tenzen and the Four Gods from the first 2 expansions to the game. The first expansion, Rise of the Zillart, introduced the region of Tulia, a series of floating islands bearing ancient Zillartian structures. Now, the player base more commonly knew this region by the auto-translate term Sky. Several of those islands held battlegrounds where players could fight against the Four Gods: Genbu, the Adamantoise, Seiryu, the Wyvern, Suzaku, the Giant Bird, and Byakko, the Tiger. To earn the right to battle these divine beings, players had to defeat lesser notorious monsters throughout Tulia that carried gems associated with the 4 points of the compass and the 4 seasons. Each god's island was roughly positioned according to the points of the compass, and the plants on that island were perpetually in a state that corresponded to the appropriate season. Each of those gods, in addition to the other loot they dropped, would give up a seal when defeated, such as the seal of Genbu or the seal of Suzaku. Collecting all 4 seals gave players the chance to fight against the hyper-notorious monster Kirin. Now, all of these battles were optional, but the loot was among the best available at the time, and in fact for quite some time, making Sky FF11's first real endgame.
It was amazing.
Mm-hmm. Can I have it, please?
And all the abjurations and so much.
How much drama was there over that damn Osode?
I once saw a Guild Seller party fight Kieran for 15 hours.
This was actually one of the reasons that Guild Sellers were so loathed in Final Fantasy XI. Unlike in other games where they mostly just shout and are a little bit annoying, the open world nature of this endgame meant that with their botting, they actually could monopolize the notorious monsters that dropped those pop items. For a lot of people, the only real option to ever get to fight these monsters was to buy it from the Guild Sellers. So the rage and hatred towards them was much, much stronger than I've seen in other games.
I'll admit, though, on my server, for a while, we had some really nice Guild Sellers. I remember this little Lalafell Taru female. Anytime I would die, she would magically disappear out of nowhere, raise me, and disappear again. I like
How about that pause hacking?
Yes, okay. Okay, wait, what? Okay.
Now, I'll also note that there was a definite progression among the gods in FF11. Genbu was definitely the easiest. His main strength was his very high defense. His attacks were a little bit weaker and easier to endure of the other gods. So even groups that weren't terribly strong, they would be able to defeat him as long as they could be patient and just keep up their healing.
His pop items were also easier to get.
Mm-hmm.
Gravity him as well.
Yep. In fact, Genbu was the first of the Sky Gods to be soloed.
It started with an A. It was a Taru Red Mage, wasn't it?
Avesta.
Yes.
Avesta, that's it, yeah.
Avesta was the most
amazing.
Was the most well-known for solos. I knew a couple other people who did it, definitely not at the cutting edge of it, but Byakko was reasonably easy to gravity and then use a kiting strategy.
Yep. Red mages would always do a lot of kiting when they would solo those types of mobs.
Now, in FF11, Byakko was actually the most difficult of the 4. His island was more difficult to reach than the other 3, requiring you to go through a circuitous pass through the Shrine of Ruavatau. And his attacks included the ability to paralyze large groups of players and the ability to launch a 3-fold attack that could bring someone from full health to dead in a single attack round.
I'm trying to remember if that's the one where you have to chain spell stun.
So you might be thinking of, I think, Seyrr, who itself used Chain Spell and then launched a barrage of fire attacks.
No, I know there was one of the bosses we had to fight where red mages were required to chain spell stun. I thought that was... never mind.
No. I mean, Byakko's hyper ability as a thief type was perfect dodge, so that just meant that you couldn't damage him for a little while. Suzaku's chain spell was followed by a barrage of Faraga attacks, and so stunning through the duration of that was necessary to keep him from decimating you.
Gotcha.
I think you could bind Byakko, if I'm rightly.
Possibly.
Because I'm
Oh
sure
yeah,
you could use
that's
the
right.
Rangers
There was
as
a
shadow
bind rotation that we'd always have to go through with our mages to make sure that he wouldn't move, and then we would just try and bombard him from ranged, and then when he would get unbound,
Why do I remember
continue.
these strats?
So,
Right?
at any rate,
So,
this is all information we all regret having in our brains. Let's move on. But so yeah, they did appear there. No real connection to the plot, no special explanation of why they were there. They were just kind of there, and you could fight them, and you could get great loot. Now, the other element that was added that we want to touch on, the second expansion, Chains of Promathia, had players face the threat of the emptiness, dark manifestations that seemed to swallow the land into an inky void. During the course of the story, they met Tenzen, a samurai from the Far East, whose lands were also under assault by the emptiness. Wielding a katana imbued with the spirit of the terrestrial avatar Phoenix, Tenzen journeyed with the player to uncover the truth behind the emptiness. Now, one of the most memorable set pieces from that expansion was a dramatic battle aboard the airship Armada where Tenzen turns against the party, attempting to rekindle the light of the Mother Crystal by offering it the life of the players. The betrayal was unexpected and aggravating, as players had to contend not just with Tenzen's relentless weapon skills, but also with a barrage of magic attacks from a pack of mischievous Taru.
goddamn potatoes.
If Tenzen was not defeated quickly, he would perform a skill chain of attacks that would unleash the level 4 skill chain, Cosmic Elucidation, immediately defeating the entire party. In an expansion that was renowned for the difficulty of its special battles, Tenzen was one of the most notorious destroyers of static parties.
And yeah, it still wasn't as bad as those damn mammoths.
I feel privileged that the static party I worked with, there was only one fight that we had to attempt a second time.
I fought those 256 times.
Wow. Now, these days, players can actually summon a replica of Tenzen into their party in FF11 using the game's trust system. He can act either as a skill chain specialist using a variety of katana weapon skills, or as a ranged specialist with powerful archery attacks. In general, he attacks powerfully with weapons, but has no magical ability. Now, FF11 is the most prominent of the Final Fantasies that refers to the four gods, but it's by no means the only one. FF12 had 4 mini-bosses in a late-game dungeon that included a stone tortoise, a large blue fish, a white tiger-like creature, and a firebird. And all 3 of the Final Fantasy Tactics games have an item that references the 4 gods. In Final Fantasy Tactics, there is an artifact called the 4 Deity Plate, a set of 4 brooches that your team can recover on a side mission. In both Final Fantasy Tactics Advance and Final Fantasy Tactics Advance 2, there is a equipable shield named after the 4 deities, the Shijin's Shield, or I think it was the slightly different name in Advance 2, that had very high magic resistance. There's also an attack called Shijin's Spiral, Shijin being another name to refer to the 4 gods, a hand-to-hand attack that invokes all 4 of the beasts in its animation, which makes appearances in FF11 as well as Mobius Final Fantasy. In Final Fantasy Type 0, the 4 nations each possess a crystal named after one of the 4 gods. Those deities also show up in their national crests, and the nations are located in geographically appropriate positions relative to each other. During the course of the game, a 5th crystal of immense power is discovered on a peninsula located centrally between the nations.
Is it called Kirin?
No. I'm actually going to be touching on that in just a moment, but in general, not just in the Final Fantasy series, but in a wide variety of media from Japan and China, you actually get a lot of references to the 4 gods. Martial arts attack names, quirky mini-boss gangs, brutal secret bonus bosses, incredibly blatant ones, very subtle ones. This system was thousands of years old, used in Chinese astrology and Japanese onmyodo? I can always mispronounce onmyodo. Mysticism. So it is something that's really heavily ingrained in the culture, which is why you see all these references. Speaking of which, getting to the real-world origins of it, those four gods, they originate in a Chinese system of astrology and geomancy believed to be at least 6,000 years old. There's evidence of it being used in a tomb from the Neolithic period, so it's unclear how old it is, but likely thousands of years old, where you have 28 star houses, or constellations, that are placed around the circumference of the sky. Those constellations are divided into 4 quadrants, each of which is ruled by a different god, and the center is ruled by a 5th divine beast. Each of these beasts is associated with a season, a direction, and an element from the Chinese system of 5 elements. Over time, this system was adopted by nearby countries, who gave the gods different names, and in a couple cases changed some of the elements around to be more in keeping with their systems. Most FF14 players will know the 4 gods by their Japanese names, but there are equivalents not just in China, but also in Korea and Vietnam. So it's something that you find lots of different local variations on. So, of those 4 gods, the Azure Dragon, Seyrr, we know him as, represents spring and the element of wood. He rules over the east. The Vermilion Sparrow, who we know as Suzaku, represents summer and the element of fire. He rules over the south. Now, although this god is a red bird that is associated with fire, it is not at all related to the phoenix. That's something that you occasionally see people trying to make that connection between, but this actually is just a coincidence in this case. The white tiger, Byakko, represents autumn and the element of metal. He rules over the west. And the black tortoise, Genbu, represents winter and the element of water. He rules over the north. Now, in some representations, Genbu is a hybrid of a snake and a turtle, or a snake wrapped around a turtle's shell, or in a couple of them, a snake and a turtle having sex, however that works.
Giggity.
Yeah. And then finally, the yellow dragon represents the changing seasons and the element of earth, and he rules over the center. Now, as I mentioned, in the Japanese version, their elemental system is slightly different, where Chinese has fire, water, wood, metal, and stone or earth. Japan has the traditional fire, water, air, earth, and a 5th element behind the other 4 of void. So the center, in this case, is associated with the void. So as a direct consequence of that, there is actually no divine beast that's in that position. Koryu, or also sometimes called Oryu, might be the closest equivalent, but some works sometimes place Kirin, which is actually a unicorn-like creature, in that position.
You mean he's not a giant manticore?
Yeah,
Aww.
that was just the FF11 artists reusing some
Yeah.
assets.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah. One interesting side note I did find is that the colors of the various gods actually seem to correspond to soil colors in the corresponding areas of China. For instance, the soil in the southern regions of China is very rich in iron and has a reddish tinge to it, while the western regions are a bit more desert-like and have higher salt content, and so their soil tends to be white.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Now, the tale of Tenzin and the 4 gods that we heard, in addition to all the stuff about the 4 gods, it actually invoked a number of elements from other famous stories. 2 that stood out to me, Momotaro, or the Peach Boy, is the tale of a young boy born from a giant peach who sets out to defeat the ogres of Onigashima, or Demon Island or Ogre Island, depending on how you translate it. Oni is a word that sometimes gets translated as ogre or demon, and there's kind of a bit of overlap between them conceptually. Along the way, he befriends a variety of animals who become his traveling companions and assist him in his quest. The trailer preview images that we saw show the Warrior of Light, along with the Kojin and with Tataru, surrounded by several small animals, much like the helper animals that Momotaro had. And many stories depict Onigashima as a volcanic island with a frightening demonic face, very similar to Hell's Lid. I also noticed some relations to Journey to the West, a classic Chinese tale that follows the travels of the monk, I am totally going to butcher this pronunciation, Huanzang?
That's pretty good. Yeah.
and his companions on their pilgrimage to India to obtain sacred Buddhist texts. Tenzin's disappearance to the west along with the Four Lords does seem to bear some resemblance to this tale. I'll mention that the DLC items that were available prior to the launch of Stormblood are modeled after items used by one of Huanzang's companions, the Monkey King Sun Wukong. The Eastern Journey battle staff is a replica of his shape-changing Ruyi Jingu Bang, also known as the Compliant Rod, and the Cumulus mount refers to his ability to ride clouds. And I'll go ahead and say that yes, Sun Wukong is known as Son Goku in Japan. Yes, the Dragon Ball character is heavily based on him, and that's about all I'm going to be saying about that.
Yeah, if you want to hear more about Dragon Ball, you should go check out Chille's other podcast. I'm not kidding.
Like a lot of other tales, the story of Tenzin and the Four Lords may have started in a factual basis, but over time seems to have accrued elements from a variety of other stories. As the realm's premier slayers of stories and dreams gone terribly wrong, we should be prepared for anything, as usual.
Well, hopefully that was a good answer for you, Mithrin, and I hope everybody enjoyed that, because I liked kind of going back and, you know, reminiscing a little bit about Sky Parties. I really do miss that about Final Fantasy XI. Those were some really good times.
It's something that's easier to miss when you're not in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Like, I've occasionally missed it, and then we're like, I guess I could resub to 11 for a month or two, and then I'm like, no.
No, I realized what it would take to get back into that point, and like, fuck no.
Well, I mean, at this point, it's like, you could probably solo it. But that's because the game has moved on in a number of ways.
Yeah, but like I said, back in the heyday, this was some really good endgame content, and a lot of players were doing it. I mean, we actually had to get schedules set between a number of the raiding groups because, to time it.
Oh, and when someone's Dynamis Link shell would jump the line.
Yeah.
Now you can get in pretty much. You can go in with randomers. I was watching someone stream, and they went into Dynamis, and there were some other people in the area.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dynamis also got changed rather a lot.
Yep.
If I ever did go back, I think it would be to try and finish off that relic weapon.
Collect your 10,000 plus ancient currency.
It's not as hard as it used to be.
No,
and
no,
I think
I know.
still had it. I have an absurd amount of gil, so if the currency's dropped a lot in price, I could just buy it outright at this point.
Yeah, I think I'm basically done with the game. I'll just talk about the fun times.
Yeah, reminiscing.
Yep. Back in my day. Anyway, thank you again so much for that, Seyrr.
Mm-hmm.
And if you guys
Good
have
memory.
other ideas that you would like to hear Seyrr talk about within one of our lore segments, you can always email us, podcast@phoenixtownradio.com. You can hit us up on Twitter at PHXDNRadio, or we actually have a channel on our Discord server that is dedicated just to lore called the Lorebrary. So you can always stop by the Discord channel. A link is below the stream. You can click that and join in on the Lorebrary and talk about it there.
Lore.
I am the Lord.
I am the lure.
Anyway, I now have some bad news. I did talk with Luna, and unfortunately, she does want to postpone the interview. She worked really hard on this, so I apologize to everybody who joined us from the Yours and Glamour Idols. We're going to put off this interview for the next episode so Luna can be available to discuss that, because I don't want her to miss out on it. So thank you so much for your understanding on that.
Please be excited.
Yep. So we will push that back and let Luna take over on that. So,
oh, wow. Montreal silver pieces are just 300,000 gil.
Are you looking at FFXIAH again?
Maybe.
All right. So the other big thing that we have to go over now is we had a contest, guys. And I want to thank everybody who emailed us and submitted their entries to the Heaven's Turn, the Heaven's Turn Words Resolutions or Starlight Wish contest. I could have just read it on the screen, I suppose, couldn't I have? but that would be just too much work. Anyway, the four of us all read through all of your entries. We anonymized things so people would be able to give their unbiased opinions on it, and we have come up with some winners. Before we announce the winners, though, we're going to go ahead and read all of the entries from everybody and who they're from. So we'll kind of go back and forth. Chille's not in the document, unfortunately, so he can't read it. Unless you want to get into the document, Chille.
Go into the documents.
Hint. Seyrr, you want to start with the first one?
All right. Am I reading the name for these as well?
Yes, you can read the name for these.
All right. So from Mithrin Scarlet, my number one wish for this game is to have more compelling reasons to go back and do older, extreme, savage content, level synced with Duty Finder pug groups while being rewarded appropriately for it. A hard mode wondrous tales that only lets you do content synced but also increase the rewards greatly. Me and my girlfriend love doing older content synced, so it's really a bummer when we wait forever to queues to pop or PF to fill, and then never get to do it because no one joined in our limited time to play. Much like Luna, I don't typically do resolutions because I feel like you should always just be improving no matter the time of year, but this year I do plan to do something. I want to resolve to spend more time in the Novice Network as a mentor and help new players with anything and everything they may need, from educating to running stuff they need to coaching through synced extreme primals. I want to be a good mentor and help turn the Novice Network from meme city to something that can be respected. I know when I was a Greenleaf and got force invited into the Novice Network randomly, the chat was so spammy and full of trolls that I had to ask for someone to remove me from it immediately, back when you couldn't leave manually. So now I want to try and fix that problem by being the nice guy that people treated me like when I was a fresh noob tank running Tamtara and Sastasha. I do that already in roulettes, but I want to officially help out more in the Novice Network since I never joined it again after that. Very kind wish, though you did write a little bit of a novel there, dude.
It's Mithrin. He always writes novels.
It's true.
Thank you, Mithrin. We appreciate your entries. That's actually, he submitted 2 emails. I put them together. He initially just submitted when it was the Starlight Wish, but he also submitted a Heaven's Turn resolution. So.
On Ultras, the Novice Network is just people telling people not to ERP in Novice Network.
All right, Chille, do you want to go ahead and read the second one here?
Does that happen that much?
Oh.
Yeah, it does actually on Ultras.
Why in the Novice Network?
Don't know.
But why male models?
It's Ultros.
That's the studio for ants.
Okay, so anyways.
Chille, you want to go ahead and read that second one there where
Yeah,
I've highlighted?
Yeah, I mean that's 2. Okay.
Oh yeah, sorry. Just this part, sorry.
There we go, see? From Vivi239, my Heavenstone resolution is to finally be able to purchase a small plot of land in patch 4.2, and I'm sure you'll do it. Good luck.
I hope everybody can get the land that they want. Hopefully they don't have single purchase or individual purchases locked away too long.
Yeah, it sounds like you'll have a better chance this time around, at least.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and read 3 and 4. 3 is from Aurori. Wish for more people to take up and actually play tank and healer. I'm caster and the queues are torture. Yes.
Be the change you want to see in the world, Aurori.
I'm actually leveling up a healer, but I'm not going into dungeons, damn it.
Okay, you're part of the problem here, Klaus.
I hate healing for people. But I'll probably try and maybe run a couple dungeons, see how bad it is. Anyway.
You'll actually learn stuff. Besides, if you want to actually be challenged healing, heal like a raid.
I'm only level 63. I'm only level 63.
Coil. Alexander.
Truth. All right.
Crystal Tower.
And number 4 from Sirajar Warsong. My Heaven's Turn resolution this year is to be better at being a friend to someone I play this game with. He's a very lonely person that has had to move a lot recently. He plays this game a lot because he's not well enough to work and doesn't have very many friends. Throughout the years, I've tried to keep him company, and I know that I've failed him at some respects. So yeah, I want to spend more time with him because I know I'm one of the only friends of the past 8 years that he's still on good terms with. That's a nice thought to have. Make sure to keep the people that we know close and make sure that they're doing well.
Yeah, it can be hard to maintain ties with people. It's so easy to just drift away. It really does take work to maintain it.
Yes.
Chille,
Chille, you want to read the next one?
Oh, I was looking
Number
forward to Fair Eyes, but you know what? I'll do
Okay,
the
you can do both of them, and I'll let Seyrr finish number 7.
Yay! Kane Breaker. My wish is simple. I wish that all my friends have an amazing starlight and that no problems arise in their lives.
Thank you, Kane. That is a
Thank
wonderful
you.
wish.
That's amazing.
I was hoping to get
promises.
Seyrr to read this in his awesome voice, but Chille, you really want to read it, don't you?
No, if Sarah really wants to do it then.
I have no strong opinion on this. Klaus was the one who wanted that to happen.
Well, I
You
just
two work it out amongst yourselves.
well,
I don't have any coins to flip.
then I'm gonna read it. Haha.
I'm like, why don't we all read it?
That may be the worst idea.
Yes, you're right. Dear not Godbird Claws, all I want for Starlight is for tanks using cooldowns during big pulls. The dungeons are simple, but monsters still hit hard, and I'm a simple healer. I can adjust easily, and in fact, I like to think I'm pretty good at it. You know what, not Godbird Claws? I want you to be my tank. You're naked, you got a hammer, and you charge things, all of which is not different from normal tanks. But you got money, MGP, and a Santa hat, which you are pretty much everything that our current tanks and better. And you are super manly, with bulging muscles. So please be under my tree for Starlight, and please don't be oiled. The house I got in Shirogane is still new and unfinished, and I'd rather not have ruined floors. Oh God, please don't ruin my floors.
This
Why-
letter
why-
went to a really weird place.
Wait. Why is Fair Eyes right about me?
And Seyrr, you want to read the last one?
Tanks, please just use a few cooldowns. That was an interesting set of mental images. So anyways, from Mary on Siren. Hello all. My resolution this year is to get good in the game. This is the first MMO and Final Fantasy that I got into. I just got to endgame content after 2 months of playing, and because of that, I'm still having trouble not dying a bunch in the endgame content. I'm not sure if that is mainly from my skills, or the fact that AoE damage is done server-side and not client-side, and my internet is kinda shit. Anyway, there's my resolution to get good and have fun with friends, instead of draining their MP to raise me. Thanks for the podcast. Have a wonderful year.
Thank you so much for that, Mary, and thank you everybody who emailed us with their contest entries. We had a good time with that, and I hope you guys enjoyed us sharing them with you, and I hope you Chille and Seyrr and Luna enjoyed reading those and judging them.
Yeah, it was really.
I thought it was
A
cool.
lot of them were sweet. Some were funny, and it's just kind of nice to see all the stuff that people are hoping for in the new year. It makes it feel all full of promise.
Yep, and it's exactly what I wanted. So thank you very much.
Don't look at the politics page. Don't look at the politics page.
Anyway, so what we did is we all picked our 3 favorite, and we scored them for second and third, and we then added up all the points to try and be fair, and we still ended up with a tie. But fortunately, Chille is an awesome person. He was giving first and second place mounts as well, so it works out perfectly. The tie winners are Siraja Warsong and Fair Eyes. So congratulations to both of you. You will each
Way.
get a carbuncle mount.
Well, amount of their choice, remember, they can
Okay,
pick.
they can choose whatever they want, but everybody wants carbuncles.
I know, but they can pick. So
But yeah, if you don't want a carbuncle for whatever reason, some kind of equivalent is
Yeah.
probably fine.
So email us again, podcast@phoenixstarradio.com, which mount you would like. I'll pass that on to Chille, and we will get you those codes, all right?
May it bring you good fortune in the
Yes.
new year, or something like that.
And not to be forgotten, our third place winner is Mithrin Scarlet. So thank you and congratulations. You get to pick a Mog Station minion of your choice. So again, email us, podcast@phoenixstarradio.com, and let us know which minion you would like, and we will get that code sent to you as well. Congratulations, everybody who won and everybody who participated. Again, like I said, I really do appreciate it, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have an idea that you'd like to see maybe for another contest down the road, let us know, and maybe we can get something started on that.
Ooh! I just had the best/worst idea.
Oh God,
Well, so what's the next holiday that's coming up?
Valentine's.
Pancake Day?
dirty limerick contest.
Oh God.
We should probably not do that, actually.
For Pancake Day. Oh no, Pancake Day's after.
Well,
Yeah.
they don't actually celebrate St. Patrick's Day though.
No, Pancake Day. That's Fat Tuesday.
Yeah.
Mardi Gras. It's because it's just before Lent starts. You need to use up all of the fat and butter in your house, so you make an absurd amount of pancakes.
Really?
Jeez, Klaus, learn to Catholicism.
No.
That is the correct answer.
But it means I can have pancakes, so I don't mind, whatever.
I like pancakes, but I sometimes
It's the
prefer
only day of the
waffles.
year I eat. It's the only day of the year I eat pancakes.
Can I have waffles instead?
No.
But I want
Waffles are heresy.
That's why I am not Catholic, because I like waffles.
I like waffles, but not on that day.
Catholicism actually takes no position on the existence of waffles. I'm just declaring stuff heretical for the fun of it. Look at me. I'm Ishgardian.
Well, I thought that they were trying to revise their whole stance on all of that and not seem so harsh on the pro waffle front.
No waffles.
Are you about to make a dogma reference? I feel like you're about to make a dogma reference.
Well, it was kind of be a dogma / Northern Ireland thing, but yeah. Anyway, you can take it however you want.
No waffle for you.
That's not the first time you've said that to me, Klaus.
Waffleism,
Wait, what?
wow.
Oh, my.
Doesn't roll with the tongue very well. Sorry. It was a shot in the dark. All right. So, we're not going to go as long as we thought we were, guys. Again, apologies that we're unable to do the interview today, but we will, like I said, do that on the next episode. So Luna can be here with us.
I am looking forward to that.
Yeah, I mean, I read through that interview and it seems amazing. And I've been going through a lot of their Twitter content. We'll go ahead and plug them. It's the Eorzean Glamour Alliance, and I believe they are. Let's see, they just followed me, and I'm just trying to find where they're at again. It is at Eggy Glamour, I believe. No, they didn't Eggy Glamour. It's at Eorzean Idols. I'm sorry. I will copy paste that into the Twitters, or their Twitter into the Twitch.
I mean,
chat.
I guess Eorzea already had an idol group, so it's not that much of a stretch.
No,
What
exactly.
can I do for you?
Chille.
I can't hear you.
Chille. Chille.
Oh, Chille, I less than 3 you so much right now.
Chille is definitely less than 3 right now. All right. Shout outs. Chille. I figured Chille can start because he always starts.
Can I hold myself out again?
As always.
Yay! I just want to shout out the fact that my other podcast, PlayStation Unchained, will be reaching episode 200 tomorrow.
Woo! Congratulations on 200 episodes.
Thank you. I'm very happy that we finally reached that big number. So I'm not going to say go check it out because, but I'm just really happy that I reached that number.
But check it out
Yeah, might as well.
at psu.com.
Thank you. Shout out to both my Klaus and Seyrr for having me on as always. Thank you. I had fun. And a shout out to everyone in the Twitch chat. And a shout out to Evolved Mail, aka Girlfriend's favourite stream at twitch.tv/EvolvedMail.
So what kind of contract did you sign with him to get him to shout out every show?
I don't know.
Samus,
should check it out.
Samus, what did you do to get him to do this for every podcast that he does? And I literally mean every podcast.
Twitch.tv/EvolvedMail. Go check them out.
It's amazing, actually. Samus is a pretty good guy. Congratulations on everything going on in your life, man. So,
Well, his baby should be due soon.
yeah, I remember that. So
Ooh, that's exciting.
exactly.
Twitch.tv/EvolvedMail.
Seyrr,
Oh, let's see. Shout out to my friend Magnus Aurelian, who heroically desynthed way too many aged mortars to make the very last piece I needed for my last Zodiac Zeta. Thank you so much.
Yay.
Shout out to that awesome dragoon who was in my Circus Tower run yesterday, who had a great chat about the history of the Allegan Empire and its various generals. Spoiler alert, everyone was terrible.
Wow.
Yeah. And shout out to the Shisui of the Violet Tides group that was remarkably patient when the queue popped way earlier than I expected, and I had to leave for like 5 minutes after the first boss to drain pasta.
Hey, you gotta make sure that pasta's al dente.
Damn right.
Otherwise it's ruined.
They understood that, and I appreciate it. Shout out to them.
They are amazing people then. I like those people.
Mm-hmm. People are so nice. Like, you just ask for the most basic, hey, let them know what's going on, and they're cool with it.
Yeah, if you just drop, then they'll be like, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
So. All right, and I want to shout out Luna. She had to leave suddenly, unfortunately, because she was having keyboard issues. Keyboards don't like water, apparently. So hopefully she gets those sorted out soon so she can be back in the game and get back to doing
Don't tell
what
me
she
what
loves.
to do with my Saturdays, Klaus.
Have you
Why?
tried turning it off and on again?
Is it powered on? So shout out to her. Shout out to you guys for doing this with me every episode. We really appreciate
You don't have
that.
to shout. You don't have to shout. We're right here.
Okay, is this better?
Whisper out to my friends.
Well, some people like this, I've heard.
Something like this.
Anyway.
Okay, that one actually gave me tingles. How the hell did you do that?
It's Chille. He can do those things. And for a low price, never mind.
Oh, you're not getting that cheap. Wait, what?
Shout out to everybody joining us live here at twitch.tv/Phoenix Down Radio. We always appreciate you joining us live, as well as everybody who's checking us out on the podcast. We really do appreciate it. Like I said, you can go to our website, www.phoenixdownradio.com. If you have questions, comments, or just want to say hi, you can email us, podcast@phoenixdownradio.com. You can hit us up on Twitter, @PHXDNRadio. If you want to check out some of our past videos, as well as a few other really crazy runs and stuff that we did, we do have a YouTube channel at youtube.com/PhoenixDownRadio, as well as a Facebook page, facebook.com/PhoenixDownRadio. So, guys, that'll do it for this episode. If you liked what you heard, please make sure to like, subscribe, or follow us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, or wherever you check us out at. And if you have the opportunity to leave us a rating or review, it really helps people to find us and lets us know what you guys think of the show, and it ups our visibility so we can be found by even more people.
Yeah, the algorithms on these stores can be kind of brutal sometimes. It's a little weird.
So like I said, it may not seem like much, and it doesn't take much time. So, if you haven't yet, like I said, we really would appreciate an iTunes or Google. I don't think Google has them, but iTunes or Stitcher review. Like I said, you can just search for us and then just choose to rate us, and it's really simple. A quick review. And like I said, I check them every once in a while, and as soon as we get a new one, I will read it on the show. So it's really kind of cool.
You don't have to be eloquent. You don't have to write several paragraphs. Just a quick sentence or two is honestly more than enough.
Unless you're Myth, and then you're going to write a novel.
Well, yeah, but we couldn't stop him from doing that if we wanted to.
Exactly. And if you're really digging the show, please consider subscribing here at Twitch or becoming a patron over at patreon.com/PhoenixDownRadio. Now, I just want to remind you guys, that's absolutely optional, but it's always definitely very helpful, because any proceeds we get to that go towards growing the show, covering things like hosting costs, and allow us to do the fun giveaways and support our only incentives. So like I said, it's really helpful to us. And if you want to check out those sites, or like I said, subscribe to us here at Twitch, you do get access to some subscriber only emotes. Like the Lava Scorpion at the top level, or just the $5 level, or your basic Twitch Prime free subscription, you get access to the Phoenix Down Radio logo. But as always, any kind of support, whether it's emails, likes, retweets, follows, or anything like that, it's always greatly appreciated. We love interacting. Go ahead.
Voodoo dolls of our enemies.
No, we
Just
don't.
saying.
I don't really have any enemies, or maybe I don't know about them, but I like everybody. Come on.
There was like that one guy who cut me off on the freeway.
But that has nothing to do with
doll of
this.
him.
That has nothing to do with this, Seyrr. You make your own damn voodoo doll, all right?
That's what my internet army is for. Just make voodoo dolls with people and stick pins into it until you feel karmic justice has been done.
See,
it'll probably work out.
That seems like an inappropriate use of your power, Seyrr. I like it. Anyway.
Yeah, that is the entire point of having power, isn't it?
We love interacting with you guys and the rest of the community, so thank you very much. All right. So then for my hosts, Lunavox, for Seyrr Timono, and for Chille, I am Klaus Nightbringer, wishing everybody a wonderful evening. Thank you again for joining us, and take care.
Pretty well, Scorpion.
Phoenix Down Radio is a production of PhoenixDownRadio.com and Illusion Productions. Final Fantasy XIV and Eorzea are trademarks of Square Enix. In-game content for Phoenix Down Radio is the copyright of Square Enix. Opening music for Phoenix Down Radio is provided by Guilty Gear Rock You. Check out the Metal Chocobo theme cover and many other music videos at youtube.com/Guilty Gear Rock You. Closing music for this episode is provided by Guitar Wanker 90. Please check out their full version of Matoya's Cave and other rock video game covers at youtube.com/Guitar Wanker 90. The views and opinions expressed in this episode are those of Phoenix Down Radio and its hosts and do not reflect the views of Square Enix.